introduction. Dear ladies and gentlemen, I'm very delighted to greet you on behalf of Ukraine today. But before to start my main part of my presentation, I'd like just to show you the place where I was born. Would you be so kind, please? Thank you. Ukraine is beautiful. It is open for you. And today we're going to talk about the aspect of medical tourism markets in Ukraine, outbound and inbound. Ukraine is the perfect location for medical tourism because it is situated in the central part of the Eastern Europe, and population of our country is a little bit bigger than 42 million people. We have two markets, as each country has, actually, outbound and inbound, and I'd like to speak a little bit about the reasons of existence of these markets in Ukraine. Outbound markets. Patients from all over the world, long time ago, are seeking for the best services and with affordable prices. So, of course, patients from Ukraine are traveling abroad, and first reason is that they are not able to get some kind of medical services because of different reasons. For example, due to the lack of the technologies, like it's very famous now in oncology, radio surgery, like TrueBeam STX, or robotic surgery, Da Vinci, or bone marrow transplantation. Still, in Ukraine it is not available, and definitely patients are going abroad to receive these services. Second point, it is that some manipulations are prohibited by law, organ transplant. Of course, Ukraine have cases when some patients needed to receive the organ transplant, and that's why they're seeking in some destinations abroad to receive this. And last point, it is a VIP categories of patients which are just seeking for some more comfortable, better quality, for example, or some other conditions. That's why they are travel. If we're talking about inbound medical tourism to Ukraine, it can attract the patients by also with several points. High quality of medical care. I'm talking now about reproductive medicine, about IVF, because Ukraine have a very high efficiency after successful cases after the IVF manipulations. More affordable prices. I wouldn't say that Ukraine is cheap. I don't want to position my country as cheap healthcare. No, it is just a little bit more affordable, even it is double cheaper than some European destination. And logistic, I mentioned it already, that it is very comfortable to come to our Ukraine. If we come to the figures, we can see that annually almost 200,000 people per year are going abroad to different destinations from Ukraine seeking for treatment. This is not official data because unfortunately at this moment in Ukraine we have no organ who would do this, who could fix, imagine the official figures. If we're talking about inbound medical tourism, this figure, 12.7 million, it is a general number of international tourists who arrived to Ukraine in last year. I definitely agree with my colleague from Ukrainian Association of Medical Tourism that this year it decreased double, but still, if we can make from this 12.7 million people, at least 10% who will go directly to have medical services like medical tourists, it will be a good result for us. This is the structures of patients by medical fields. We can see that mostly patients from Ukraine are seeking for oncology, next point, neurology, aesthetic medicine, reproductive, and some other fields, but in most it is oncology cases. Unbound markets and preferred destination by Ukrainian patients. Definitely in our country we have some destinations brand, if I may say so. Germany and Israel, next point is Turkey, Hungary, India, South Korea, quite new destination to Ukrainian patients. And if we're talking about VIP category of patients, they can choose Switzerland, USA, UK, or some other destinations with very high prices. Inbound markets in Ukraine, who comes and why they come? First of all, it is the country's neighbors, because they don't have a language barrier, because we have the same mentality, because still from the time of post-Soviet Union, they have a very high credit of trust to Ukrainian medical doctors. Why? Because I know that a lot of people here from Russian-speaking market also, if I say the phrase like Soviet school for medical doctors, you will understand what I mean. Yes, this is exactly what I mean. Countries from JCC, for example, who are seeking for IVF services because in their countries they have some restrictions. We have in Ukraine availability to choose a gender of a future child and of course through surrogate maternity. Inbound markets, I'll be very honest with you. Ukraine is not ready to work with medical tourism in all directions of healthcare. We have several strong fields and we successfully work on it. First, it is reproductive medicine, rehabilitation, ophthalmology, dental care, and usage of stem cells. 95% of the Ukrainian inbound markets, it is a private medicine. These medical structures are privately invested and that's why they are developing according to the international standards. Reproductive medicine, the most brightest representative is such clinics like Izida, like Mother and Child, like Elia Company. High-tech quality with almost twice cheaper price than any other destination in the world. Rehabilitation is also very good, and I will repeat it again. Rehabilitation in Ukraine, it is a Soviet school. They have a very good methodology about how to do it correct. All the sanatoriums, all the waters what we have, everything is investigated and everything is have a very clear programs how to do it. I would like to mention also one very bright representative of the inbound medical tourism clinic. It is rehabilitation center of Professor Kozyavkin. He is working with the child cerebral palsy and this clinic receives maybe the biggest number of international patients in rehabilitation aspect. Ukraine have a unique waters also, which have exact influence. I'm not gonna stop on this moment. If you will have questions, you will, I'll be happy to answer. I don't want to keep too much your attention. Dental care, one of the best in the world. Why? Because Ukrainian doctors going to abroad for education and bringing this technology to Ukraine. They use the best practices of the world and they are able to improve it and in their private clinics. Inbound medical tourism in general, who supports and who develops? Of course it is specific association like we are, like Inbound Medical Tourism Club in Ukraine. It is private business who invests by themselves to this industry and government. Government is mentioned just little bit because only now they start notice what we are doing as a social and entrepreneur, I would say like that. Because our club, we don't have even membership fees. We just are interested in creating a brand of the country in between the most popular destinations in the world for medical tourism. So, medical tourism, Inbound Medical Tourism Club in Ukraine. We are actually, as mentioned my colleague, newly formed. We're only 2 months of our work, but still, it is a working platform for the inbound medical tourism to be developed in the country, and we will try to join the private and public representatives of the field. Important that we have one main focus. It is just inbound medical tourism. Our mission is to assist to our members to develop themselves and to increase the flow of the foreign patients, thus to create, maintain, and consolidate the trend of general awareness of the global society about the competitiveness of Ukrainian healthcare system, especially at individual areas of medicine. I mentioned these areas, what we have. We have is only 5 at this moment. So results of our club in 2 months of existence. At this moment, we already done 2 official meetings with our members. Each of them was with educational session. We are trying to explain to our members how to work, what to do, not just what to do, but how to make it work in our market, how to adopt international standards in Ukraine to make it work. We designed and implemented a foreign patient safety program, and we call it like medical tourism, a sign of excellence. We have a general terms because our members not only clinics, we have facilitator, we have travel agents, we have assisting companies, we have just medical doctors at this moment, no, sorry. We have almost all representatives of the medical tourism infrastructure. We designed official catalog. It is preparing now to be released. Official website, and not just website to be in the internet, but we allocating a special person who is going to take care about PR and marketing program, like to promote, to really promote, to make this web to be a real working instrument, a real working tool. If you will be in Ukraine and you will see such a sign, be sure your patient will be safe, because this is this accreditation, certificate of accreditation by our club for the member, for the hospitals who are providing the medical services to the international patients. We accepted over 20 applications during these 2 months. I will explain you why, because all our members are just hospitals and like juristic structures. We're not working with individual medical doctors still, but we're planning to do that in future. We have partnerships with more than 50 international hospitals for training and educations for our medical doctors. We're developing B2B and B2C program for our members to reach the target markets. We will explain and we will advise them where to go to receive their patients. And at this moment, we are preparing a delegation from Ukraine for Kazakhstan and Azerbaijan B2B workshop participation on this April. Thank you for your attention. Ukraine can. Ukraine waiting for you. We are ready to cooperate. And if you have any questions, I'll be delighted to answer it. Thank you.